Annyeonghaseyo, Mayla imnida. Today, we will learn or explore the various ways of Korean in communicating. But before that, why do so many people want to go to Korea? It's a dream destination, especially for K-pop fans. Ever since I read about Korea, it fascinated me. South Korea seems like an interesting and beautiful place to travel. It is calm, polite, and clean. I heard that the people there are incredibly nice and polite, and the food is amazing. Plus, it is a very safe place to travel. It is such a unique place with a great balance between modern and traditional culture. Let's not forget to mention K-pop and K-dramas. They too attract a lot many people. All in all, South Korea is unique in its own way. So the reason why we want to visit South Korea seems endless. Let's get started. Coping with the challenges of intercultural communication of South Korea. First, greetings. Use a person's formal title, example, Mr., Miss, the Doctor, when addressing them for the first time, and continue to do so until they signal otherwise. The most common way to greet in South Korea is with a bow. The casual bow is a dip of the head with eyes closed, sometimes accompanied by a slight bend from the waist. This type of greetings is used when informally greeting someone or walking past someone of a higher status. The deepest, most polite bow expresses sincerest gratitude or apology. One bends from their torso to around 45 degrees or at such an angle from which the head would have to stretch up to look into the face of the other person. The head is kept lowered in this greeting. Second, religion. Religion can be a casual topic of conversation in Korea and is often a point of interest to many when meeting someone for the first time. It is not considered improper or praying to directly ask someone what their religious affiliation is during the first conversation after meeting them. According to 2015 estimates, more than half of the population, 56.9%, is affiliated with any religion. 19.7% identify as Protestant Christians. 15.5% identify as Buddhist, and 7.9% identify as Catholic. It should be noted that traditional Asian philosophies such as Confucianism are not always considered to be religions by Korean people, but are rather more commonly perceived as a way of viewing life that can coexist with other religions. Many Korean people, including those who identify as non-religious, have some affiliations or understanding of traditional Asian philosophies. Family. Koreans are very family-oriented. Family members are very loyal to each other and dedicated to maintaining their nucleus, characteristics of collectivist societies. In some traditional, rural social circles, families can be so defining that they are perceived as having a collective fate. Therefore, the act of an individual can impact the perception of the entire family by others. The ultimate goal of most parents is to see their child be more educated and prosperous than themselves. As such, most Korean parents are utterly devoted to their children's success. It is often expressed in a way that puts heavy expectations on the child to excel to reach their parents' aspirations. Many Korean youths are put under immense pressure in their education and career. How to refer to family members in Korean? Son, adult, daughter, tal, parents, mom, umma, dad, appa, grandparents, grandfather, harabuchi, harabuchi, grandmother, halmoni, halmoni, siblings, When you are male and you are calling your older brother as him, him. And when you are female and you are calling your brother as oppa, oppa. Older sister for male, nunna, nunna. Older sister for female, yuni, yuni. Younger brother, namdong seng, namdong seng. Younger sister, yodong seng, yodong seng. Next, etiquette, basic etiquette. In Korea, people rarely thank one another for gestures of courtesy. Example, holding open doors. Nor do they generally apologize if they bumped into one another on the street. Australians may interpret this as being rude or disrespectful behavior, but keep in mind that Koreans consider such minor incidents or manners to be actions that one should anticipate and expect in life. Therefore, they generally do not require a profuse apology, a thank you, or even acknowledgement. Respect is exhibited in different ways. Eating. It is considered inappropriate for adults to eat while walking. So street foods is often eaten on the spot where it is both. Food should not be eaten with one's fingers. Spoons are used to eat soup, but chopsticks are used for everything else. Do not blow your nose at the dinner table. The eldest person should be served first. Everyone seated should then wait for them to begin eating before doing so. Drinking. South Korea has a large drinking culture. Drinking can give status, proving one's stamina and maximum, particularly for men. If you do not want to participate in drinking, try to give a sincere reason, such as medical or religious grounds. Do not make an excuse that could be interpreted as the morals of those drinkings. Avoid emptying your glass if you've had enough to drink. Fill others' glasses before your own. In a formal setting, do not fill out your own drink and instead wait for someone else to return the gestures and fill yours. Gift giving. In Korea, the importance of a relationship can be expressed through gift giving, which is always welcome. Those. Be aware of how you fit in social hierarchy that Koreans observe. Discern who is superior to you based on age, position, and family name, and show respect to each person as necessary. If you do not adhere to these expectations and fail to give a Korean the respect they are due, you may lose face in their eyes. You may even find that they wish to avoid you after. Don'ts. Avoid drawing parallels between the Korean culture or language to Japan. Korea should be acknowledged for its distinctiveness and difference from other East Asian cultures. Avoid exhibiting anger or distress in heated displays or outbursts of emotion. Doing so may cause you to lose face. Do not underestimate their knowledge and intelligence, as the Korean population is very culturally educated and politically aware. Communication. Verbal. Indirect communication refuels speech style, silence, and laughters. Indirect communication. The South Korean communication pattern is generally indirect and quite verbose. They tend to rely less on words and are attentive to a speaker's postures, expressions, and tone of voice to draw meaning. Speech can be ambiguous as they often understate their point. The purpose of this is to maintain harmony throughout the conversation and prevent a loss of face on either end of the exchange. The best way of navigating this rhetoric to find the underlying meaning is to check for clarification several times through open-ended questions. Refusals. A South Korean's preoccupation with saving face and politeness means that they will seldom give a flat no or negative response even when they don't agree with you. Therefore, focus on hints or hesitation, listening to what they say, but also paying careful attention to what they subtly imply. Speech style. While they may be indirect in their communication style, South Koreans generally speak quite firmly and use less gestures and facial expressions. This can make them come across as stern. Expect them to give serious replies and reports. They also tend to ask questions in order to discern their status in comparison to the person they are talking to. This can catch people off guard. For example, how much do you earn? Or how old are you? Silence. Silence is an important and purposeful tool used in Asian communication. Pausing before giving a response indicates that someone has applied appropriate thought and consideration to the question. It reflects politeness and respect. Laughter. Laughter is sometimes used in awkward situations. A Korean may laugh when they feel uncomfortable and not necessarily because what was said was genuinely funny. Next, communication nonverbal. Physical contact. Koreans are generally not very physically affectionate with one another. However, male friends may touch one another more than Western man. One girls may walk hand in hand. Personal space. Personal space is not guarded very closely in Korea. People generally expect to come into contact with strangers on busy streets and tend not to worry or apologize when personal space is invaded. Pointing. People do not point with their index finger but rather with their entire hand. Eye contact. During a discussion or friendly conversation, make full eye contact with the person you are talking to. Avoid direct eye contact if you are scolded, rebuked by someone older or of a higher status than you. Some Koreans may also avoid eye contact with their superiors on a regular basis. Hands. Use two hands of your right hand alone to offer or receive something. Gestures. It is considered rude to make a fist with your hand while placing the thumb between the middle and index finger. Expressions. Koreans tend to come across as quite straight-faced in conversations. However, their facial expressions can immediately expose when they are angry or in disagreement. Smiling. As well as an expression of glee and humor, smiling can indicate that one is feeling ashamed and embarrassed in Korean culture. For example, a Korean may smile when they make a mistake. Sneezing. Sneezing is considered rude in Korea. It is the best practice to excuse yourself from the room if you have to. Now that we know the different types of ways Koreans communicate, I hope you have learned something and become even more inspired to explore the culture of South Korea. To K-pop fan like me, let's go to Korea. Bangtan, my babies, wait for me. Again, annyeonghaseyo, gomawayo, borahe, and God bless.